You know what's interesting about job interviews?
What?
People spend hours preparing for the hard questions. What's your biggest weakness? Tell me about a time you failed. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? They rehearse those answers for days. But the question that actually makes or breaks the first 5 minutes of the interview, most people just wing it.
Which question?
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, that one. I actually thought I was pretty good at that one.
Most accountants think they are, and most accountants get it wrong.
But how is it possible to get that wrong? It's literally about you. You know yourself.
Right. But knowing yourself and being able to present yourself clearly, professionally, in under 2 minutes, in English, are completely different skills. And here's what makes this interesting. It's the one question in the entire interview you know is coming. It's always first. Always. So if you know it's coming, you should be able to nail it. And yet
most people don't prepare it properly.
Today we're covering this question at 4 different career levels: fresh graduate, junior, senior, and assistant manager or junior manager. We'll give you a framework that works at every level. We'll do a full mock interview. And there's one specific phrase that I hear accounting candidates say in their very first sentence that immediately signals to the interviewer, this person might not be ready for the next level. We'll get to exactly what that phrase is.
Okay, now I'm nervous because I feel like I've said it before.
You probably have. Most people have. But after today, you won't say it again.
So before we get into the different levels, can we start with a framework? Because I feel like most people just answer this question chronologically. I was born here, I studied there, I worked here, then there.
Yes, that's the most common mistake. The interviewer has already read your CV. They're not asking you to read it back to them out loud. What they want to know is, who are you professionally right now? What have you actually done that's relevant? And why are you sitting in this chair today?
So what's the right structure?
I think about it in 3 parts. Part 1, who you are. Your professional identity right now. Not where you were born, not where you studied. Your professional identity today. Part 2, what you have done that's relevant to the role they're hiring for. 1 or 2 concrete things, not everything on your CV. And Part 3, where you're going. Why this role? Why this company? Why now?
Who, what, where?
Who, what, where. Simple. But most people skip straight to what and never really answer who or where at all.
And how long should the whole answer be?
About 90 seconds. 2 minutes maximum. The interviewer will ask follow-up questions if they want more. Your job is to give them a confident, compelling opening, not a full presentation.
I've seen people go on for 5 or 6 minutes. Just keep adding things. Oh, and I also did this. And before that,
Which is the interview equivalent of a CV dump. You're giving the interviewer everything and letting them decide what matters. The better move is you decide. You curate. You show them the 3 things that make you the right person for this role. That's what we call strategic self-presentation. And the key to doing it well is having a track record and knowing how to talk about it. Okay, track record. Let's spotlight that.
Okay.
So let's go through the levels. Start with the fresh graduate, or the fresher.
Fresher. Actually, quick note on that. Fresher is perfectly understood. But in international accounting firms, the more common terms are entry-level candidate, fresh graduate, or new graduate. If you're applying to a Big Four or any international firm, and you say, I am a fresher, they'll understand you, but it sounds a bit informal. Better to say, I'm a fresh graduate with a degree in accounting.
I didn't know that. I've been saying fresher my whole career.
It's one of those terms that's completely normal locally, but sounds a little unusual to an interviewer. And in an interview, every detail matters.
Okay, so for fresh graduates, who, what, where? looks very different from a senior.
Very different. At entry level, the interviewer already knows you don't have a track record yet. They're not expecting one. What they're actually listening for is, does this person have the right foundation? Do they understand what the job actually involves? And are they someone we can develop?
So the who is your education and why you chose accounting.
Right, but not a generic, I love numbers. Give them something real. What drew you to accounting specifically? A particular subject? An internship experience? A family business you grew up watching? Something that shows you thought about this, not just that you picked the degree.
And the what at fresh graduate level?
Your most relevant coursework, your internship, if you have one, and one specific skill you've built. Be specific. Don't say, I learned accounting at university. Say, during my internship at a mid-tier firm, I assisted with the month-end close process and prepared bank reconciliations for 3 clients. That's a completely different sentence.
It shows you actually know what the job involves.
Exactly. And here's something I notice a lot with fresh graduates. They discount their internship completely. They say, oh, it was only 2 months. I just observed. But even observation has value if you're describing it the right way. If you watched a senior accountant walk through a reconciliation difference with a client, that's hands-on experience. You need to name it, describe it, and own it.
Hands-on experience. That's a phrase I want to flag. Even if the internship felt small, framing it as hands-on experience gives it the right weight.
Right. I gained hands-on experience in month-end close procedures during my internship at Company A. That's how you use that phrase. Not, I did a little bit of work experience. The phrasing matters.
And the where for fresh graduates?
About the next 2 to 3 years. I want to build a strong technical foundation in audit and financial reporting. This role gives me the opportunity to work with international clients from day one, which is exactly where I want to develop. See how specific that is? It's not, I want to grow. It's, I want this specific thing, and your firm gives me that specific thing.
That connects directly back to what the company actually offers.
That's the whole point of the where. It has to be about them, not just about you. Okay, let's hear it. Fresh graduate, just finished a degree in accounting, had 1 2-month internship at a local audit firm. Here's what a strong answer sounds like.
I'm a fresh graduate from the University of Economics, Ho Chi Minh City, with a degree in accounting and a focus on financial reporting and auditing. During my final year, I completed a 2-month internship at a local audit firm where I gained hands-on experience preparing bank reconciliation schedules and assisting with evidence gathering for an audit engagement. That internship confirmed what I suspected, that I genuinely enjoy the technical side of this work. I like getting into the details, finding the reason behind a number that doesn't match. I also realized during that internship that I want to develop my skills in an environment where I'll be working with international clients, because I want to build both my technical foundation and my professional English at the same time. What drew me to your firm specifically is your focus on Singapore incorporated companies. That's the environment I want to grow into from day one.
Is that better?
That's so much better than I graduated and I want to work here.
Notice what's in there. It's still 90 seconds. It has a clear who, accounting graduate with a specific internship. A what? Reconciliations, evidence gathering, an actual process she can name. And a where, international clients, Singapore companies, from day one. Every part is doing work.
And she used hands-on experience exactly the way you described, to frame what she actually did during the internship, not to apologize for how short it was.
That's the point of learning a phrase in context. You don't just memorize it. You understand when to deploy it. And for a fresh graduate, hands-on experience is probably one of the most useful phrases in your toolkit. Okay?
Now let's move to junior level, 1 to 3 years. This is where people have more to work with, but I also think this is where people start to get lazy about their answer.
Lazy is a good word. Because they have something, they have some experience, they have a job, they have tasks they do every day, but they haven't thought about how to frame it. The scope of responsibilities exists, they just haven't learned to talk about it professionally.
And by scope of responsibilities, you mean not just a task list, but the full picture of what you own?
Exactly. Scope of responsibilities is the phrase I'd use. Not, I do many things. Not, I am responsible for various tasks. When you say, my scope of responsibilities covers monthly management accounts, quarterly GST filing, and supporting the external audit process, that's a sentence a Singapore manager has heard before. It tells them exactly where you sit in the finance function.
And the who at junior level?
Your current role and your key area of focus. I'm a junior accountant at a mid-tier firm specializing in financial statement preparation and GST filing for Singapore incorporated companies. Do you hear the difference between that and I work at an accounting firm?
It's so much more specific. Even just adding Singapore incorporated companies immediately signals your context.
The specificity is doing work. Compare that to I work in accounting. That tells them almost nothing.
And for what at junior level?
One achievement, not a list. One thing you did that had a measurable result. In the last 6 months, I reduced the month-end close time by cutting out 3 manual steps through a reconciliation template I built. Or, I took over a client that was consistently late on filings. In my first 6 months, they submitted on time for the first time in 2 years. Either of those, the interviewer is writing something down.
But what if you genuinely don't have a dramatic achievement? What if things were just fine?
Okay, so here's where it gets really practical. Most of the time, you do have an achievement. You're just not framing it correctly. Ask yourself differently. What problem did I solve? What did a manager thank me for specifically? What would have gone wrong if I hadn't been there?
I think we're also trained to be modest, especially in Vietnamese culture. You just do the work and you don't talk about it.
Very true. But in an English language interview, especially at international firms, modesty reads as a lack of confidence. There's a difference between arrogance and clarity. Saying, I built this template that saved 3 hours per close is not arrogance. It's just accurate.
So the mind shift is stop being modest. Be specific instead.
Be specific. That's all it is. You're giving the interviewer evidence. They need evidence to hire you. Can we hear the junior version? A full sample answer? Let's do it. Junior accountant, 2 years experience, working at a mid-tier firm handling Singapore outsourcing clients.
I'm a junior accountant with 2 years of experience at a mid-tier firm here in Ho Chi Minh City. My scope of responsibilities covers financial statement preparation, monthly management accounts, and VAT and corporate tax filing for local clients, about 8 clients in total across trading and services sectors. In the last 6 months, I took on a client that had a history of filing delays. Within my first quarter with them, I rebuilt their document checklist and created a monthly tracker that flagged missing items 3 weeks before the deadline. Since then, they've submitted their tax returns and financial reports on time every single quarter. I'm applying here because I want to expand beyond the transactional work and move into more complex financial reporting. From what I understand about your firm, you work with clients that have group operations and consolidated financial structures, and that's exactly the next step I'm looking for.
Sounds good, right?
I love that she used scope of responsibilities naturally in the answer. It didn't sound forced at all.
That's the goal. You heard the phrase in our discussion. You heard it defined in the spotlight.
And now you hear it used again in a real answer. 3 exposures in context. That's how vocabulary actually sticks.
And her where was really specific. Multi-entity structures, not just I want to grow.
Which shows she did her homework. She knows what this firm does. She knows what she wants next. Those 2 things together are very compelling at junior level.
Now, senior level, 3 to 6 years. This feels like the biggest leap from junior.
In some ways, it is. Because at senior level, you're not just doing the work anymore. You're starting to own processes. You're reviewing junior work. You're dealing with more complex technical issues. You're the person clients call when something goes wrong. And the interviewer knows exactly what that level means.
So the what at senior level reflects that ownership.
The what sounds like this. I'm a senior accountant with 5 years of experience in financial reporting and statutory compliance, currently managing a portfolio of 8 SME clients across manufacturing and trading sectors. Notice what's in there. 5 years, 8 clients, manufacturing and trading. Each of those details is doing work. It tells the interviewer your scope without them having to ask.
Compare that to just, I'm a senior accountant with 5 years of experience.
Which says almost nothing. 5 years of experience doing what? For whom? In what context?
And the what at senior level.
More complex. And ideally, it has either a team element or a business impact element. I identified a systematic error in our revenue recognition process that had been carried through 2 reporting periods. I flagged it to the manager, proposed the correction entry, and retrained 2 junior staff on the correct treatment. Or, when we were short-staffed during our busiest quarter, I managed the full workload for 3 clients independently, maintained all filing deadlines, kept all 3 stakeholders satisfied.
You used stakeholders there, not just clients.
Intentional. At senior level, you're not just managing clients. You're managing relationships with managers, with external auditors, with regulators. When you say stakeholders, you're showing the interviewer that you think beyond the transaction. You see the full picture.
I think that's a phrase a lot of Vietnamese accountants underuse. We'd say the client or the partner, but stakeholder puts everyone in the same professional frame.
It signals that you operate at a higher level of awareness. And the examples we just went through, the revenue recognition one, the short-staffed quarter, those show that you can handle pressure and that you're already operating above your level, which is exactly what the interviewer is testing for at senior level.
Can we hear the senior version? A full sample answer?
Senior accountant, 5 years experience, portfolio of SME clients, applying for a role at a firm with more complex international work.
I'm a senior accountant with 5 years of experience in financial reporting and Vietnamese statutory compliance. In my current role, I manage a portfolio of 9 clients, primarily manufacturing and trading SMEs, and I'm the main point of contact for 4 of our highest revenue accounts. My scope of responsibilities includes monthly management accounts, annual statutory accounts, and coordinating the year-end audit process with external teams. Last year, I identified a revenue recognition issue that had rolled over from the previous reporting period. I flagged it to the manager, proposed the correction journal, and then ran a short training session with 2 junior staff to make sure the same error wouldn't happen again. What I'm looking for now is an environment where I can work with more complex clients, ideally multi-jurisdiction structures or group-level consolidations, and where I can continue developing the mentoring side of my role. From what I understand about your firm's work in the Singapore-Vietnam corridor, that's exactly the kind of exposure I'm looking for.
What do you think?
I noticed she used scope of responsibilities again. The same phrase from level 2, but now with audit coordination in it. Same phrase, different weight.
Exactly.
That's how professional language builds across levels. At junior level, her scope covered GST filing and management accounts. At senior level, it spans the full cycle. The language is consistent, but what's behind it has grown.
And she used stakeholders in her key phrase, coordinating with external teams, not just talking to the auditors.
Good catch. That's the difference between someone who's internalized the language and someone who's still translating from Vietnamese in their head.
And now, the hardest transition. Senior to assistant manager or junior manager.
Why is this one harder? Actually, before I answer that, Jenny, based on what we've covered so far, why do you think this step is the hardest?
Because the things that made you good at senior level stop being enough?
Exactly, because the game changes completely. At this level, you're not being hired just for your technical skills. You're being hired for your judgment, your ability to develop other people, and your ability to represent the firm to clients without supervision.
So a lot of strong seniors fail this interview because they still present like a senior?
Right. They lead with technical skills. I'm excellent at IFRS. I can handle complex consolidations. All true, all probably accurate. But the interviewer is thinking, I need someone who can run a team of 4 people, handle escalations, and make the right call when I'm not in the room. Does this person show me that?
So technical skills at manager level are the baseline?
The baseline. The minimum. That's what got you to 5 or 6 years of experience. Now, the question is, what else do you bring?
Okay, so what does the who look like at manager level?
I'm a senior accountant, transitioning into a management role with 6 years of experience in financial reporting and compliance, and a track record of mentoring junior staff and leading client engagements across 3 industry sectors. Do you hear the difference? You're positioning yourself as someone who's already been operating at that level, not just someone who wants to.
It's not, I want to become a manager. It's, I've already been doing manager level things.
Which is a fundamentally different conversation. And it's only possible if you've actually been doing those things. If you haven't, then the honest move is to ask yourself, what can I do in the next 6 to 12 months to build that evidence?
And the what for manager level?
Business impact, not technical execution. Tell me about a team member you developed, a client relationship you built from scratch, a problem you solved that involved judgment, not just knowledge.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. One of the junior staff I mentored went from struggling with reconciliations to handling client calls independently within 18 months, and she's now handling her own small portfolio. That example shows leadership. It shows investment in people. It shows you think beyond your own output.
Whereas at senior level, the achievement was about your own work, the revenue recognition issue you caught and corrected. At manager level, the achievement is about what other people did because of you.
That's a great way to put it. Senior level, what did you do? Manager level, what did your team do because of you?
And what's the where for manager level?
Strategic. I see an opportunity to contribute to the growth of your practice in the Singapore-Vietnam outsourcing space. My background in statutory compliance and my experience developing junior staff means I can take on a team from day one and add value quickly.
And here's what being ready for manager level is not about, right?
Right. It's not about knowing more standards than your peers. It's not about being the fastest at close or the most technically accurate person in the room. It's not even about managing the most complex client.
So what is it about?
Judgment. Being someone the partner can put in front of a difficult situation, a difficult client, a difficult conversation, a difficult team dynamic, and trust that it will go well. That is what the interview is testing. And that's why the phrase add value matters so much at this level, but only when you say it right.
Can we actually hear this in practice? Like a full mock interview, so listeners can hear the difference between who, what, where done wrong versus done right.
Perfect timing. Let's do it. We're going to run through one scenario. A senior accountant interviewing for an assistant manager position. Two versions. The way most people actually answer. And then the upgraded version. Ready?
Version 1. The common mistake. Interviewer. So tell me about yourself.
Okay, my name is Ling. I graduated from the University of Economics Ho Chi Minh City in 2020 with a degree in accounting. I have been working at my current firm since then, so about 5 years now. I am responsible for preparing financial statements and tax returns for our clients. I also check the work of the junior staff sometimes. I think I am ready to take on more responsibility, which is why I'm here today.
Version 2. The upgraded version. Interviewer. So tell me about yourself.
Of course. I'm a senior accountant with 5 years of experience in financial reporting and Vietnamese statutory compliance. In my current role, I manage a portfolio of 12 clients, primarily manufacturing and trading companies, and I'm the main point of contact for 3 of our top-tier revenue clients. Over the last 2 years, I've also taken on mentoring responsibilities for 2 junior staff. One of them has gone from fresh graduate to handling client calls independently, which I'm genuinely proud of. I'm at the point in my career where I want to lead at a higher level, and what drew me to your firm specifically is your focus on international clients in the industrial sector, which is exactly where I've been building my expertise.
Okay, can we just stop for a second? That difference is enormous. They're answering the exact same question.
Same question. Completely different impression.
So what went wrong in version 1? Walk me through it.
3 things. First, she opened with education. At 5 years of experience, your university is background information. It's not your lead.
Second, and this is the phrase you promised us earlier. Did you catch it?
I am responsible for. That's the phrase. Not wrong grammatically, but it's passive. It describes what you've been assigned to do. Compare it to what Lynn says in version 2. I manage. I'm the main point of contact for. I've taken on. Those are ownership verbs. They show agency. They show you're not waiting to be told what to do. You're driving the work. So the fix is to replace I am responsible for with an active verb. Always. I manage. I lead. I own. I run. Even I handle is better. It's one word, but the way a senior partner hears those 2 sentences is completely different. And the third thing she got wrong? The close. I think I am ready to take on more responsibility, which is why I'm here today. That's a weak ending. I think I'm ready? You think? The upgraded version closes by naming the specific firm, the specific sector, the specific reason this role is the right next step. That's the where doing its job. I want to go back and rewrite every self-introduction I've ever given.
The good news is you only need to get it right from now on.
Before we close out, I want to ask you something. With so much automation in accounting now, AI doing reconciliations, automated tax filing, machine learning in audit sampling, does the self-introduction question actually matter less? Aren't firms just going to test technical skills and move on?
This is actually the opposite of what I'm seeing in hiring right now. Here's the pattern. The more technical accounting work gets automated, the more hiring managers care about communication, judgment, and the ability to represent the firm to clients.
Because those are the things the software can't do.
Exactly. Your self-introduction is the first test of exactly those skills. Can you organize your thoughts clearly? Can you present yourself with confidence? Can you connect your experience, your career trajectory, to what this specific firm needs? Those are not things AI can answer for you.
So in a world where the software can do the reconciliation, the accountant who can communicate well is the one who's irreplaceable.
Technical skills get you in the room. How you present yourself in English, clearly, professionally, is what gets you the role. And the tell me about yourself question is your first 60 seconds to demonstrate that.
And because you know it's coming, you can prepare it properly.
Which most people still don't do. That's your advantage.
3 takeaways from today. First, the framework. Who, what, where.
And not generic. Every part should be specific to the role you're applying for.
Exactly. Who you are professionally right now. What you've done that's relevant. One strong example, not a list. And where you're going, tied specifically to this company, this role, this opportunity. Not I want to grow. Something they can recognize. Your firm gives me exactly this thing I'm looking for.
Second takeaway?
The phrase to avoid. I am responsible for. Replace it with an active ownership verb.
I manage, I lead, I own. I'm the main point of contact for.
It's a small change, but the way an interviewer hears it is completely different. Passive versus active. Assigned versus owned. That difference matters at every level, but especially when you're stepping up.
And third?
You know this question is coming. It is always the first question. Always. That means you have a genuine built-in advantage because you can prepare it, practice it out loud, time it, refine it, and walk into that room knowing the first 90 seconds are handled. Most candidates don't do that. Now you can.
And I'd add one more thing. Practice it out loud. Don't just write it down, because it sounds very different when you actually hear yourself saying it in English. Your career trajectory should come through in your voice, not just your words. Record yourself if you have to. You'll catch things on the audio that you never notice on paper.
That's a great point. Write it, time it, say it to a friend or a colleague. You'll be surprised what you notice. And today's question for the comments, we want to hear from you. When you answer, tell me about yourself in English, what's the hardest part? Is it finding the right example for what? Is it keeping it under 2 minutes? Is it finding the vocabulary, like stakeholder or scope of responsibilities, to describe your role clearly? Drop it below. Your answer might become a future episode. See you in the next one.